Dominic Henley wasn't the kind of man to seek trouble. At 42, with 15 years of SWAT experience and over 200 breach entries under his belt, he had nothing to prove. Retirement was a conscious decision, not forced by age or injury, but prompted by a morning in front of the mirror when he saw something in his eyes that told him he'd given enough. He wanted peace. He found it, or so he thought, in a quiet suburb just outside Austin, Texas. The home he chose was modest, a 3-bedroom ranch style with a fenced yard, a cracked driveway, and enough distance from the next property line to breathe. He spent his mornings sanding window frames, repainting the porch, and brewing coffee strong enough to wake the dead. He kept to himself, not out of rudeness, but because experience had taught him that trust should be earned, not assumed. His Dodge Ram, a jet black beast with reinforced suspension and leather seats worn just right, sat curbside outside his home. Same spot for 2 years. The truck never blocked a hydrant, driveway, or sidewalk. It was legally parked and impeccably maintained. Dominic knew every HOA regulation better than those who enforced them. He read the handbook cover to cover the week he moved in. A habit from the job, know the rules, so you can spot when someone breaks them. Then one damp April morning, he found it. A bright yellow violation notice, slapped across the windshield like an insult. The wording was smug, almost gleeful. Violation of Regulation 7.14b. Vehicle subject to towing within 24 hours. The cited offense? Overextension beyond curb alignment. A laughable claim. Maybe, just maybe, the bumper stuck out an inch beyond some imaginary line. Dominic didn't rip the sticker off. He peeled it slowly, folded it neatly, and tucked it into his back pocket. Not out of sentiment. As evidence. That evening, he walked to the community center where the HOA board met bi-weekly. The room smelled of weak coffee and tired authority. 3 people sat at the head table. Joanne Calhoun, the president with a smile like a blade, Brian, the sheepish accountant, and a contractor in a logoed polo from Preferred Community Services, who looked like he'd crumble under a strong breeze. Joanne didn't wait to hear him out. Pickup trucks, especially oversized ones, don't align with the neighborhood's aesthetic, she said with a wave of her hand. Dominic remained calm. It's parked legally. The rules allow for street parking. She raised an eyebrow. The board has discretion. And we've received complaints. From whom? Dominic asked. Because the Camaro with expired tags on your lawn hasn't moved in weeks. Joanne's expression froze. We're not discussing my son. That did it. The double standard. The arrogance. The assumption that rules bent for some and broke others. Dominic said nothing more. He left quietly. When a man like Dominic Henley goes silent, planning has begun. 2 days later, just after sunrise, Dominic heard it, the grind of a tow truck in his driveway. No warrant. No prior notice. A hired gun trying to steal his vehicle. Dominic stepped out in boots and a t-shirt, coffee in hand. Put the truck down, he said. The tow driver froze. Then came Joanne's voice from across the street, filming gleefully. I warned you. Dominic didn't engage. He made one call. Alpha 27. Private property breach. Civil escalation likely. 16 minutes later, a matte black Tahoe rolled to a stop. No sirens. No rush. Just presence. Out stepped Marcus Lane, Dominic's former SWAT partner. Along with him, a trio of plainclothes men. They inspected, took photos, checked the tow company's paperwork. No permit. No county registry. Invoice paid from a fund marked for park maintenance, Marcus said. The Preferred Community Services rep looked like he might melt under scrutiny. Dominic said nothing. He didn't need to. The truth was unspooling. Marcus leaned in. You want to escalate this? We can go federal. Fraud. Misuse of funds. Start local, Dominic replied. That afternoon, Dominic visited the Travis County substation. He dropped a flash drive on the desk of Detective Frank Mendes. Inside were HOA financials, screenshots, and payment trails. 8 months of stress compensation checks written by Joanne to herself, $800 a month from HOA reserves. No board approval. No oversight. It's all public, Dominic said. They post it online. No one reads it. I did. Mendes leaned back. She used the HOA's Capital Improvement Fund for personal checks and illegal towing? Yes. And the company has no towing permit. Jesus. I'm not asking for a raid, Dominic added. Just accountability. Mendes nodded slowly. I'll get this to the city attorney. Maybe the DA. But do me a favor? Don't burn the place down before I finish the paperwork. No promises, Dominic replied. A week later, Dominic received a summons. Joanne had filed a complaint accusing him of intimidation and disruption. The hearing would be at the local municipal court. He arrived in a press suit, with Colonel Ray Beckett beside him, a former JAG prosecutor with eyes like bayonets. Beckett presented body cam footage, HOA emails, financial records. "Your Honor," he said, "what we have here is not aggression, but a paper trail of fraud and targeted harassment." The judge reviewed the material in silence. When the video ended, he dismissed the complaint. Then he turned to Joanne. "Given this evidence, this court will refer the matter to the county auditor and ethics board. This hearing is concluded." The next morning, multiple vehicles arrived at Joanne's home. Law enforcement, county auditors, Marcus among them. Dominic watched from his porch, coffee in hand. Joanne appeared rattled, protesting ignorance. But there were no more allies. No board members. No cover. "We have your financials," Marcus said. 8 months of misappropriation. She was processed. Not arrested, but documented. Her home and HOA records under audit. A day later, a new notice appeared on the community board. Effective immediately, all HOA executive authority is suspended pending investigation. A temporary administrator has been appointed. Dominic didn't gloat. He didn't speak. He went in his garage, unfurled an American flag, and planted it in the lawn. At the next HOA meeting, he sat in the front row. Joanne's chair was empty. Outside, his truck stood parked, unbothered, next to a news sign. "SWAT veteran parked here. Problem?" No one answered. No one dared. Dominic had restored balance without fanfare, with discipline, precision, and resolve. And peace, the kind that lasts, returned to his street, just as he always intended. Weeks passed, and life resumed its steady rhythm. But Dominic noticed something new. Where once neighbors avoided his gaze, now they nodded. Some stopped to chat. One even brought over fresh banana bread and apologized for not stepping in sooner. Dominic didn't need apologies, but he accepted the bread. One morning, the new HOA administrator, a quiet woman in her 50s named Cynthia Morales, approached him as he was weeding the garden. "Mr. Henley," she said, "I reviewed the entire HOA structure. We're dissolving a few of the old rules, especially the ones used for harassment." He nodded. "Good." She hesitated, then added, "And I wanted to thank you. Not everyone would stand up the way you did." "I didn't do it for thanks," he replied simply. She smiled. "I know. That's why it worked." Dominic went back to his garden. The sun was warm, the sky clean. And for the first time in a long time, his world felt exactly right. He didn't need to win. He only needed the war to be over. And now it was.